You just moved to Alabama, you've been in a fender bender, and you're wondering whether your own insurance pays your medical bills like it might in a no-fault state. It doesn't work that way here. No, Alabama is not a no-fault state. It's a fault state, which means the driver who caused the crash is responsible for the harm through their liability insurance. There's no mandatory coverage that pays your bills regardless of who is to blame. In a fault state, you generally pursue the at-fault driver and their insurer for your injuries and damage. That's different from a no-fault state, where your own policy pays your medical bills first no matter who caused the crash. Alabama has no such first-party medical system, so the responsibility and the money follows fault. Every Alabama driver has to carry minimum liability insurance, $25,000 for injury to one person, $50,000 total per accident, and $25,000 for property damage. People shorthand that as 25, 50, 25. On top of that, insurers must offer uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage, and it applies to your policy unless you turned it down in writing. That coverage matters because it's what protects you when the at-fault driver has little or no insurance. Here's the practical wrinkle. Because there's no no-fault coverage paying as you go, the at-fault driver's insurer usually pays at the very end in a single settlement once your claim resolves. In the meantime, your treatment gets covered by your health insurance, by medical payments coverage if you bought it, or through provider liens against your future settlement. So the money often arrives long after the bill's due. One important caveat: this is general legal information, not legal advice. And how these rules play out depends on the specific facts of your crash and your policy. If you've been injured or you're dealing with an insurer over who pays, see a licensed attorney before you sign a release or accept a settlement. Alabama's fault rules can be unforgiving, and that's exactly when professional guidance is worth it. So, Alabama is a fault state, not no fault. The at-fault driver's insurer pays, usually at the end. You carry 25, 50, 25 in liability plus optional uninsured coverage, and your own health insurance or medical payments coverage bridges the gap while you treat. Everything I mentioned is linked below, including the full written guide with sources. This is new lore for the Vance Law Firm injury lawyers.